Hello friends, today we are going to continue with the chapter Forms of Business Organization. In the previous lessons we had learned about the meaning, features, merits and limitations of the joint stock company. In today's lesson we shall be continuing with the topic types of companies. In the Companies Act 2013, various types of companies are defined like private, public, government, foreign, holding and subsidiary and so on. But we are confined to private, public and one person company as per our curriculum. So, before starting with the topic, let us have a look on the learning outcome of this lesson. After this lesson, we shall be able to understand the meaning of private, public and one person company. Then knowing about the privileges enjoyed by a private company over the public company. We will also be comparing the public and private companies. So let us begin with the first one, and that is the private company. According to section 2, subsection 68 of Indian Companies Act 2013, a private company means a company which restricts the right of its members to transfer their shares, because in case of private company the restrictions are there on the shareholder that they cannot transfer their shares freely. If they want to do so, they want to transfer their shares, a very important document, that is article of association, it must be reviewed for the purpose of getting the shares transferred to the next investor. The next point which highlights the private company, that is regarding the number of members. In case of private company, minimum 2 and maximum 200 members are there, excluding the present and past employees. Here, the present and past employees mean the person who are in employment and who had been in employment in the company shall not be included in the list of members. The next point is regarding that it does not invite the public to subscribe for its securities, because it is the private company, it cannot invite the general public for the subscription of its share, because this is available to only and only public company. The next point regarding this is that it uses the term private limited after its name. So every private company will be using the term private limited with its name. For example, I have taken the example of Anand Automotive Private Limited. This company is headquartered in New Delhi and manufacturing the world-class products for the automotive industry. The next is Jaguar and Company Private Limited. This company is famous for the manufacturing of bathroom fitting and lighting products. So here the private limited term is used with these two companies, and there are many more companies which are doing the business in our country in the form of private companies. The next point is there for the private company, that is it's not a subsidiary of a public company. So here the term subsidiary is used. Subsidiary means any company which is owned and controlled by any other company, which is owned and controlled by another company. That company is known as subsidiary company. So if a public company is holding and controlling any private company, it cannot be termed as a private company. So we have discussed about the meaning of the private company. Now let us go with the next type of company, that is the public company. According to section 2, subsection 71 of Indian Companies Act 2013, a public company means a company which is not a private company. So, any private company which is private, that cannot be called as a public company. So, what the public company means? It includes those companies which has no restriction on its member to transfer their securities. So, in case of public company, the members are free to transfer their securities. Securities are held in the form of shares and debentures in a company, and the person who is holding those securities, they can easily transfer those securities to the next investor. Then the next point is regarding the minimum number of members in such companies is 7 and maximum no limit. So there is no upper limit with regard to the number of members in case of a public company, but it requires minimum 7 number of members to start the business. The next point here it is that it does invite the public to subscribe for its securities, because being a public company, it invites the general public for the subscription of its securities, and these securities are floated by the public companies in the financial market in different ways. So it can invite the public for the subscription of its securities. The next point is with regard to the use of term limited after its name. So all the public companies are using the term limited after their name. For example, Reliance Industries Limited, Wipro Limited, Tata Motors Limited, Coal India Limited, Hindustan Unilever Limited, and many more other companies. These companies' securities are traded over in the different type of stock exchanges. So these companies are using the limited word. The next is a public company also include a private company which is a subsidiary of the public company. We have already discussed the meaning of subsidiary company, which is owned and controlled by another company. So a company which is being held by a public company, whether it is private company, it shall not be treated as private company because it is owned and controlled by the public company, so it will be treated as a public company. So till here we have discussed about the private and public companies. Now let us see with the next heading, and the next topic is the privileges of a private company over a public company. A private company enjoys many privileges and exemptions over the public company, and these privileges are as: the very first one is that it can have a minimum number of members, that is 2, to start its business. But in case of public company, minimum 7 members are required to start its business. The next one is that it can commence the business immediately after obtaining certificate of incorporation. That means certificate of registration. But the public companies cannot start the operations immediately after getting the certificate of incorporation. They have to obtain a certificate of commencement to start their business operations. The next is that it need not issue prospectus or statement in lieu of prospectus. A prospectus is a document which is issued by the public company. Document issued by public company to invite the general public for the subscription of its securities. So it is not to be prepared by the private company because they have not to invite the general public for the subscription of securities. The next one is that it can have a minimum of 2 directors. The number of directors which are required to manage the operations of the business in case of private company is 2, but in case of public company minimum 3 directors are required, and the maximum number of directors in any company, that is private or public, is maximum number of director is 15. So please note down that maximum number of directors in private and public companies, it is 15. The next is it need not to maintain index of its member, but in case of public company it is necessary to maintain the index of the members. So we have done with the privileges also which are being enjoyed by a private company. Now let us go with the next topic, and that is the one person company. According to Companies Act 2013, there has been introduction of a one person company, and which has been done in the legal system to encourage the small business and entrepreneur to enter into the corporate sector. So this provision has been made to develop the corporate skills among the small business and the small entrepreneurs. Now let us see that what the one person company is. According to section 2 subsection 62 of Indian Companies Act 2013, a single person could constitute a company under the one person company concept. So as per the new provision, the one person can also constitute a company. Earlier it was not there, but now it has been introduced, and only a single person can also form a company. The next is, it is a company with only one person who will be shareholder of the company. The meaning is very much clear that there will be only one shareholder of the entire share of the company. The next is, it enjoys legal status as a private limited. So just like being the separate legal entity, it enjoys all the privileges which a private limited company enjoys. Now let us see that what are the salient features of one person company. The very first one is that it is incorporated as a private limited company. So it enjoys the status of private limited company because it is incorporated just like the incorporation of a private limited company. The next is that it must have only one member or shareholder. We have already discussed in the definition of the one person company that it will be having only one shareholder. The next is, it should indicate nominee member in the MOA. MOA here stands for Memorandum of Association. This is the main document which is prepared by the companies to describe the relationship of the company with the outsider parties. So Memorandum of Association states that it should indicate nominee member there who shall become the member in the event of the death or incapacity of the sole member. Means if the shareholder of one person company dies, then he shall be nominating for that purpose that who will be carrying on the business after him. The next is, the member and the nominee should be natural person, Indian citizen and resident in India. So here it is stating that the shareholder and his nominee both should be natural person, that they cannot give it the nomination to a person who is already incorporated. And he should also be the Indian citizen. They should also be Indian citizens as well as the residents of India. Means the NRIs will not be taken as the shareholder, or they cannot start the company, one person company, and they cannot be nominated as the nominee of those companies. The next is, one person cannot incorporate more than one OPC. So one person will be the shareholder of only and only one company. he can be shareholder of only one company. So let us see the next conditions or the characteristics. No minor shall become the member or nominee of OPC. So OPC is always to be held as well as nominated for a major person. So a major person is the person who has attained the age of 18. The next is OPC cannot be incorporated or converted. Means if it is already incorporated, it cannot be converted further under section 8, that is related with the formation of companies with charitable objects. Charitable objects mean for charity purpose. So it states that a one person company is always started with the motive of earning profit. It cannot be started for the charity purposes. The next is OPC cannot carry out non-banking financial investment activities. So these companies cannot be involved or they cannot carry out the operations in the field of financial non-banking financial investment activities. The next is that OPC loses its status as a one person company if its paid up capital exceeds rupees 50 lakh. It means the limit on its capital is up to rupees 50 lakh. It cannot be over and above rupees 50 lakh. Or average annual turnover is more than 2 crore in 3 immediate preceding consecutive years. So its annual turnover cannot be exceeding on an average of 2 crore in the last 3 years. And the last one is OPC is required to specifically mention the word one person company below the name wherever it is used. So being a private company, it will always be using the term OPC Private Limited. Like here, Vijay Corporate Solution OPC Private Limited. So we have discussed with the OPC also. Now let us have the recap of the topic. We had learned about the public and private company, and whereby first of all we learned that in case of public company the minimum number of members are 7, whereas in case of private company it is 2, and maximum there is no limit in case of public company, but there is limit in private company and that is up to 200 shareholders. Minimum number of director in case of public company is 3, but in case of private company it is 2. Index of member is compulsory in case of public company, but it is not compulsory to maintain the index of members in case of private company. Transfer of share, there is no restriction in case of public company, but there is restriction on the transfer of shares in case of private company. Then the invitation to general public to subscribe to the share. Public company can invite, but being a private company, it cannot invite the general public for the purpose of subscribing the shares. So with this, we have summed up the topic, and last we learned about the OPC, and OPC is a company which is entirely held by a single shareholder. So with this, our today's lesson is over. Thank you. Thank you for watching.